Okay, hello guys, and welcome back to Fox the Fox Report. We have made it 3 out of 3. We beat Coventry, we beat Burton, and now we beat Huddersfield, climbing up the table of the championship. Not a bad start. Could we have predicted it? Perhaps, perhaps, but certainly there is a different level in play compared to us, compared to the championship clubs. But anyways, um, the headline is Mavdidi, the showstopper, the one to score the winning goal, the only goal of the game, because it was pretty tough. And I will get to that later on. But yes, Mavdidi eventually had to be on the score sheet, and he has done so in his second game playing for the club. Going on into the comments first, let's see. Leicester for life. Bond scored. Jeff. I know, I did see that game. Typical Harvey Barnes goal, I will say. Martins was never consistent like Mamadidi. Yes. Keep Pratt. Barnes scored yesterday and is doing well for Newcastle, so maybe it was Brendan's fault. I don't know, but looking at the game between Newcastle and Aston Villa, Barnes kind of came on once Villa was just done, just not really in the game anymore. And I think just based on the defense and how they lined up Aston Villa, it kind of was set up for Barnes to eventually, get some open space. And then obviously it was just straight up open for him. He just ran and could have scored. But like I said, Mavdidi and Barnes are completely two different, distinct players. They play a much, much different style. So I prefer to go with Mavdidi. You honestly never know what he's going to do. And I think probably a bit more quicker, but we'll see. But first, going into the starting 11 that we saw, kind of what we were going to expect, and that was a 4-3-3 formation with obviously no Hemerson because he's injured, but we'll be back for the next game against, I think it's Cardiff. And then the back four, Jannik Vestergaard is back again on the starting lineup. There has to be something that Maresca sees in Vestergaard, and he didn't play a bad game. I'll give him credit for that. So Doyle, Vestergaard, Fass, and Ricardo Pereira, and of course the midfield, KDH, Harry Winks, Dennis Pratt. A big change there because we do need someone to be the playmaker, and that's Dennis Pratt, which is why he started. No Casey McAteer, and that was a big surprise. Nothing leading up to the announcement of the lineup to say that he was injured. Nothing until we see the lineup. He's not there, and apparently he has a knock, and hopefully it's not too drastic. But we cannot, shy away from Mady Vidua, because I think Mady Vidua did an okay job. I think his first championship start with us, and yeah, not a bad player at all. Definitely still young. Definitely still needs to get some more game time, has confidence, and we did see something there from Mady Vidua. So with more game time and just consistency, then he certainly can be a dangerous winger for us. And Kalichi Iheanacho, another change there. Scored in the last game, gives a different type of style to the attack and hold the ball. Loves to shoot, which is why he needed to start. And then, of course, Steffi Mavdidi, the player, the one to score the goal and just bringing just good vibes around the club, not just on the game, not just in the match, but also on social media. If you see him on Twitter, he's been connecting. I mean, he's been just posting tweets about the game, about himself, and just basically wanting there to be a huge stir for Leicester City, and obviously getting that, that goal to get promoted back into the Premier League. But going back into the comments again, leave logs. To be fair, I wasn't that impressed with Mavdidi before he scored. Apart from that, I don't think he did that well, but he's still brilliant. Yeah, not every game Mavdidi is going to be, the best player on the pitch, going to, succeed in every single play that he has. And don't I mean, we're not gonna expect him to, like I said, play good every single game, but he did score the winning goal, and that's what we needed. And that's that's pretty much the main thing that matters the most, is to get points. And we got the goal and we got 3 points. Solarczyk is a great keeper. I think so. The fact that Henderson wasn't playing, Stolarczyk yesterday was just playing as if, he's the second goalkeeper that we always had. No difference between him and Everson and Denny Ward. I think, if anything, much better than both keepers. I have a feeling Suter might leave. I think so too. The fact that he didn't play, this game against this game wasn't even on the bench, I believe. Didn't even play against Burton. At least, give him some minutes in that match. But yeah, the fact that he wasn't there, I think he's leaving as well. Pratt could stay, maybe. Seems like Maresca rates him. Yes, he does. And if he were to leave, then we need to bring someone else that has a similar abilities to Pratt, which is, obviously a vision to find players to start plays. But certainly do not get rid of Pratt unless we bring someone else in. Ward is going soon, apparently. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's definitely not going to be playing any matches anytime soon if he stays with us. Is it me? Is it just me who's happy to see the players actually smiling for once? I know. And apparently I think we haven't won 3 consecutive matches at the start of a season since, like, I think it was like in the 90s or 80s. Duck, hey, how's it going? But yes, that was the starting lineup. And going into what has been the first half, we had possession, but no opportunities taken. We had the opportunity with Dennis Pratt in that first half where literally it's just him and the keeper, but it seems as though that Dennis Pratt doesn't have those opportunities often. So he kind of maybe got just excited at the moment and just didn't know what to do or how to handle that, 1v1 with the keeper. And it was just a low ball to the left side, which the keeper could caught. But that was a huge, huge opportunity. I think if that was Vardy or Daka, certainly that would have gone back in the net. But, it's these opportunities. Doesn't matter what player, is taking it. You have to finish it because it can lead on to either, it being 0-0 throughout the entire game, or eventually you miss your opportunity and then the other team takes it and then, you end up losing. But we cannot deny that Huddersfield did their homework. They certainly studied us, which is why we couldn't really do much in that first half, sort of in the second half as well, where we couldn't really, just take off. We couldn't do what we're known for doing as far as creating plays, because they were just on top of us, every single player. Whenever the ball was on their side, whoever had the ball on top of us. And going back to Stolarczyk, second clean sheet, play against Burton. Now, second clean sheet, not bad for a keeper that's starting his first season with us. Going into the comments, now Stolarczyk is doing well. Ward will definitely leave, of course. Huddersfield were okay. Yeah, compared to the last 2 games, they did horrible. But against us, surprisingly, I think they're 22nd now in the championship. Wait, let me just double check that. They are 23rd now. So they were 22nd before they played us, but after this match, they're now in second to last place. But yes, compared to the last 2 performances, you would think we would just have goals galore against them, but they studied us, and we only came with 1 goal out of it. I thought Madivadua, whatever his name is, will do brilliantly in the future. I think so too. Just consistency and time, and time to more just more game time will certainly develop into a very good player. But he has pace, kind of the similarities to Mavididi, but yeah, just with more time and consistency, I think he'll be a great player. Why do we take so long with announcements? Casady should be announced today, if not tomorrow. That's what I heard. I heard it's he had his medical on Friday. So if anything, if I were to make a prediction, I think it would be tomorrow, somewhere around this time. Or maybe later on today, who knows? But I think I'd honestly be surprised if it wasn't no later than Monday, than tomorrow. If anything, I think the club would make an announcement, or there'd be some sort of leaked news saying that, or giving a reason why his announcement has been delayed. But I think it's safe to say that he has already been to Seagrave, has already signed with us and everything. Medical all has been done. Yes, Connor Cody is out for, I think, 7 to 10 weeks, which is not good for us, which I think deserves, a chance for Suter to get at least some look, because I think he's a great defender. But if Connor Cody's out and then we necessarily do not have any backups, I can't really think of one because we only have Fass. We have Doyle, who could play center back. We have Lewis Brunt, but honestly, I don't rate him at the moment. I think he's, if anything, kind of slower and not better than Vestergaard at the moment. Cassady will be great signing, but we need proper signings, not loans. I agree. We need if anything, like if we have a loan, then it has to be with the option to buy. But then again, we are a championship club at the moment, so that option is not really in our favor. We need just the best team we can to get back up in the Premier League, and then we can discuss again about loans with options to buy or just permanently signing a player. Kelechi Iheanacho is the GOAT. I can't disagree there. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He has been showing everything, or showing everyone whenever he plays, why he needs to be there. And honestly, it's just a privilege for us to be having him, because at the moment, any, I think, Premier League club or top team outside the Premier League could easily rack him up. But he's decided to stay with us. Maressa convinced him to stay with us, and hopefully he does. And yeah, that's just a gem we cannot lose. So going thoughts on our performance so far during these 3 matches. And I think, based on how you see it here, the fact that we have much more possession in this in the championship, better quality players. We have Premier League players. The only players we lost were Amarty, not even that good. Madison, Tielemans, Barnes, but majority of the players come from top teams in other leagues. We have Fass, who's certainly not a championship player. He's a Premier League player based on what he did in the match against Huddersfield, man of the match. I think we all can say. But we're going to have these kind of matches where we have much more possession. We have better passing, better receiving, better control. But it's all about finishing the opportunities. So don't be surprised that in these matches where we're going to have just 85% possession, but it's all about finishing those opportunities. And so far so good. 3 games, 3 wins, 6 points. And currently looking at the table at the moment, let me just share that with you guys. We are in 2nd place. So who would have thought only 2 teams after the 2nd match week of the championship would get wins, 6 points? Us and Ipswich Town. I honestly would not. I did not expect Watford to draw. The fact that they had the most goals scored in the first match week, but we are in 2nd, so that's certainly something we want to see. If the season were to end, I want us to be top 2, not 3. 3, in the playoffs can kind of get a little nerve-wracking, but that's sometime later on. But right now we are top 2, and we play Cardiff City next Saturday, which will be, yeah, the cookies. Cardiff only have 1 point, so I'm assuming they lost yesterday, but they did draw with Leeds, and Leeds not doing too well at all. They lost against Birmingham yesterday. I'm giving their manager, Daniel Farke, I give him a month till Leeds sack him, or if they think that they can somehow get out of this just mess, but we'll see. But yeah, 2nd place, not so bad. That's where we want to be, and hopefully get up to 1st next week. So going into more comments. One sec. So he's so loyal, could have left in 22, but he said yes. Kelechi, Harry Winks doing great. I agree as well. His work ethic is something that you can certainly notice. the fact that Harry Winks, whether he loses the ball, whether the other team on the breakaway, he will run and get that. He will literally use every single breath that he has to get, to take that ball away from the opposition. That is something that you did not see from Yuri Tielemans. Though he would, play great and stuff, Tielemans would not come back. Or if he would come back, he wouldn't put that much effort in it. But certainly those are the distinctions you see between Winks and Tielemans. And if you did see the match against Newcastle and Aston Villa, you see Tielemans, he kind of looked a little out of breath there, in my opinion. Everson to leave. Well, just seeing how Stolarczyk played and seeing how we have Hemerson, I think we possibly could be in good hands for both Everson and Ward to leave. I thought Everson was going to play yesterday after Hemerson got injured, so yes, he'll probably leave. I thought so too. Honestly, that was my first choice. I didn't really rate Stolarczyk before the match against Burton, but anyways, we have a good keeper, I think, in our hands. A lot with other than Hemerson, having Stolarczyk. Leeds and Southampton having bad starts. Yes, I don't know. Honestly, what surprises me is more about Leeds because they had a really good preseason. They won the majority of their matches and not by, the bare minimum, by a lot. So seeing Leeds where they are now, and also with players, I think was it Gnanto, the Italian player for Leeds, doesn't want to play and has sat himself out from the squad. So they're kind of going through that kind of just soap opera there, as you can call it, where some players don't want to play and they're pretty much just messing up the chemistry that they build up during the preseason. And we have Premier League players. Yes. If you've been hearing the commentary during the matches, everyone's predicting us to go straight back up. And I think, they're not wrong. We do have the players, and I can't necessarily think of a Premier League side that has been relegated into the Championship with the same quality of players they had when they were in the Premier League. But we have that. We have the same quality, just minus a couple of players, but we still have that same quality into the Championship. Almost like, the fact that we probably have the most support than we ever had for any Championship club. It's kind of unfair if you think about it. So yeah, like I said, going back to performance comparing to the Championship clubs, we are just skyrocketing in just passes and keeping possession. We're like the Man City of the Championship. But that's just my opinion. 2 clean sheets for Stolarczyk. The future is great. I think so too. Mavididi runs via Lookman. In a way, yes, but I think obviously Mavididi's a little bit taller, maybe a little bit stronger than Lookman. But yeah, that instinct to take on players, to do some tricks and just make it much more entertaining. I think Mavididi kind of leads that way. So going into Maresca's bench selection. So after the game, Maresca was asked about his bench selection. Why did he choose 2 keepers on the bench rather than other players that have sat out? And he did say, just going off into this right here. Okay, so sorry about all the ads. All right, so Maresca explains why the City had 2 sub-keepers as 5 senior players left out. So just going into who was left out in yesterday's fixture, Timothy Castagna. Oh my God, why is this not working? Okay. Suter, Christensen, Samore, and Patson Daka. So those were the 5 players that we did not see on the bench. Castagna, like I said before, I can scrap him off. He doesn't want to be here. I think he'll be sold. Suter, same thing. Samore, not even a question. He's gone. Like he has nothing to provide us. And of course, Daka. Now, Maresca's reason to why he had not picked those players says that the players that were not in the squad today, it was because of a technical decision for some of them, and for some of them, I thought it was better for them to stay at home. But that doesn't mean that in the next game they won't be involved. It was just for today. So he's not scrapping off that these players will be sold, or at least that's what he says. And he's also saying that, some of them will be on the game, on the team sheet for other games. So, but he doesn't necessarily want to directly say that these players are leaving or any of them will be leaving. He said, he was asked about doubts about their futures at the club. He replied, "You are thinking about the market. I know it's a normal thing. It's not for that, I promise. Probably for some of them, there is some noise and probably, could be one of the reasons why I decided to leave them at home, but it's not the only reason." Now, he did also mention again that he hopes to sign 4 more players. I would be surprised to see 4 players come in. I think 2, given how quickly we're signing players, I think 2. But what we need is a central midfielder, someone, like I said, who has the same attributes to Dennis Pratt. Going back to Casady, he just needs to be announced. I think he's already signed with us. But also going back into the bench selection. If we go here to, it was put to Maresca that including 2 goalkeepers on the bench is sometimes a plea for more signings. And he said, if you take it that way, then thank you. It's a message for the club, but it's your message, not my message. So, kind of playing that poker face where, he doesn't want us to predict what he's thinking, the reason behind his selection. Is he playing for the club to make more signings? Perhaps, but he doesn't want to say it. Going now back to, going back into the comments. Maresca shows much more passion. You saw it against the match against Coventry. Definitely much more passion instead of the claps. Vardy doesn't look the same. Yes, that's one thing also I'm beginning to look at. Vardy came on. Did he show much when he came on yesterday? Not really. And just the long balls that were given to him. 8 years ago, he would have gotten to it. But now, you just a little less power. But can we kind of handle that? Do we need a much more quicker player, or are we fine with Vardy? Plays like that, Daka can certainly finish, or at least be close to finishing, which is why I'm not writing Daka off unless we find someone who's very similar to that, because we still play that same type of style where we're looking for long balls for our strikers, and Vardy's pace isn't there yet, or isn't there anymore. So if we bring a striker in, and it has to be someone with the same attributes as Vardy, which is pace, and obviously just can complete the opportunities and finish and scoring goal. I forgot Samori even played for us. Yeah, it's pretty much just he's just there, just training, not really doing much really. He's not injured. Maresca doesn't rate him. 3 or more for more time, including Casady. I think he includes Casady. So I think after Casady, maybe 3 more signings. Since he hasn't been announced yet, I don't think he's not going to tell us that he's assigned and just is yet to be announced. So I think when he means by 4, I think he means also Casady and 3 more after that. But pretty much that is all I have for this post-match review. Elsie Fox, if you know what I mean, Vardy left like 2 years ago. Yeah, sadly so. Unless there's something that just needs to bring him out. There needs to be something to just bring out the old Vardy. I don't know. Sometimes he gets his run of games. Hopefully sometime soon. But yeah, it's looking like that. Daniel Wood, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for this post-match review. The fact that we are in second place now, 3 for 3, going well. Now we have a whole week to train. I mean, to rest and train and prepare for our next match against Cardiff, which will be back at the King Power Stadium. So let me know all your predictions there. I will do a pre-match review. Let me just see when that game. I think it's on a Saturday. One second. That's on a Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll probably do a pre-match review on Friday. And I think just looking at it now, Cardiff drew to Leeds, which is pretty impressive. Lost to QPR though. And I mean, I don't know. Cardiff City kind of rated compared to Huddersfield kind of the same way. Currently 17th in the championship. So maybe being at home now, coming from 3 wins, could we possibly see a goal fest by us? Maybe. But I'll leave all that to the pre-match review. And like I said, anything that you guys want to talk about that I haven't mentioned, just leave it all in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.